Oh, stuff that is verified.
I'll call the regular city of White Lakes council meeting Tuesday, October 10th, 2023 to order. Roll call please.
Scott.
Here.
Beauregard.
Here.
Grams. Here. Kramer. Here. Zins.
Here. Everybody please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
All right, next item is the consent agenda. If everybody has a chance to look at the consent agenda. And if so, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Counselor Kramer, is there support? I'll support that. Supported by Counselor Scott. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Yes, and citizen forum. You want to speak at this time?
Yeah.
First of all, I'll read this. A definition of council members. They are to lead and represent their communities, engage with said communities, and encourage participation in decision-making while considering the needs of the people that live there and those that will in the future. Responsibility for representing the community needs and respond to constituents' requests. So I know I'm on the agenda. I don't have a copy of that, but I first was wondering if we can change the order of the meetings. Public forum, we're supposed to comment, but we don't know what we're going to comment on because we don't know what you're discussing yet.
Well, why don't we wait until we get, when you're on the agenda, and we can go over those items.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just great now. Okay.
Reports from staff, the administrator Lanning.
I got a report from Wade this morning that the arena has been repaired and they're working on getting the ice back on now. Also, I got a phone call from Representative Paul McDonald or Commissioner Paul McDonald. St. Louis County is considering changing the name out to New Range Copper Nickel from Highway 666 to a different number. He wanted to gauge if the council would be okay with that or not.
From.
Yeah, I wouldn't care if it changed the name from 666. Okay, that's all I have tonight, thanks, Mayor.
All right. Public Works Director Smith.
Yeah, so as Becky had just stated, as per Wade, the ice plant is back up and running, cooling well. My team has been over there 80 to 90 man hours in the last 2 weeks, helping with the repairs. All that we have left to do is patch the concrete outside the boards. We got the boards back in today. The floor area itself is ready to go for. Wade is gonna start flooding tomorrow morning. So the patch between the bleachers and the compressor will take place hopefully yet this week. My staff will also be hauling and putting up our streets in for the winter, Thursday and Friday of this week. Next week, I expect to be out sweeping streets, even though we're not all of our leaves have fallen yet. But Aurora is anxiously waiting for the sweeper as well, so we'll get started on that next week. All the stuff in town as far as winterizing, the cemetery, community garden, ball fields, everything has been done. We still have the golf course and campground to winterize, and that should be taking place next week. Wade wanted the water left on through Monday or Tuesday next week. So we'll be doing that sometime after next Wednesday. So,
Thank you. Public Utilities Director Burns.
All right, well, safe to go in Whitewater again and pulled the signs today. As I said, the volume that came out about a week's time, I figured just be cautious around there. Now that's resolved, so. We're in the middle of hydrant flushing that got pushed back a little bit. I was sick a few days last week and we also had that rural health conference. So we're halfway through it right now. We'll try and finish it up this week. If not, we'll have it finished by Tuesday next week. Wastewater plant, been talking to construction, they're waiting to come back in until they get the parts in for tearing into that roof for the new trickling filter. As you know, when the big storm went through, we figure it must have been a small tornado, ripped down a line of trees, which took out about 60 feet of fence line. That's been repaired. And then as we were investigating the roof was tore up on the one trickling filter, the other one, just like it was built, just good shape. But there was a boulder on top of the one that was wrecked, so some pretty strong winds to pick up a boulder like that. So they should be coming in probably in the next week or so. I'm hoping to see them, so. And then I think that's it.
Just a quick question, was there any water testing involved with them? With the MPCA or for the?
Yeah, so procedure is when you have a spill like that, you grab samples of what spilled over right away. So I grabbed right out of the EQ tank. Got that out to the lab, so I'm in the process of generating my monthly report and I'll have my report on what the pollutants would be out of that. If you want a copy, I can provide it to the city. But PCA will take that and do their assessment and get back to us.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
East Range PD Chief Stewart.
Yeah, so just make the council aware of a personnel change after 7 dedicated years of service. Jordan Closted and his wife Amanda have decided to relocate out to North Carolina. So many of you know Jordan, he's on the streets during the summer and he was their school resource officer in Sun. So certainly big shoes to fill. What we did, we posted his vacancy on the Coast Guard website for lateral transfers, and we got an interesting candidate from that police department named Cody Seaver. Cody's a current K-9 officer, and he's K-9 tax handler. So as he applied and went through the process, it was made aware that Cody and TAC would be a package deal, as Babbitt didn't have a handler. Spoke directly to the chief up there and presented the opportunity to my board, and they made a motion to hire Cody. So as much as we'll miss Jordan, we're excited to have Cody and TAC on board. I think as we get our feet wet and Cody gets used to the area, we'll definitely have him out there in the public and everybody can greet him. So we're excited. He starts October 19th. So yeah, in this day and age, I think we're pretty fortunate to get a guy with some experience. As you guys know, the law enforcement climate is changing across the state and certainly the range, and that'll bring us back to full staff. So
Thank you.
How's the transition for the new school resource officer?
yeah, so we opened that internally. Scott Garrick has been with us for 8 years, applied for it. He was able to spend the first 30 days with Jordan before Jordan finished up. So yeah, he tells us it's certainly a challenge for him. I think we'll probably know more in 6 months as he goes through and learns the kids' games and everything that he brings. But we just signed a 3-year agreement with the school new this year. Our current 3-year expired. And they support the program, which is very important, and the community does too. So yeah, Scott has one child that's in school right now, and the other one will be starting. So, he has a lot of experience with kids at different age levels, and we're hoping he goes in there and does as well as Jordan does.
Thank you.
All right, City Attorney Brumfeld.
Also, can you hear me okay?
Okay. As well as we can.
All right, sounds good. So on the agenda tonight is the final reading of the new ordinance that will prohibit the use of cannabis products in public places in the city. As per our discussion at the last council meeting, I made the amendments to carve out 2 additional exceptions for campsites at Fisherman's Point and then the golf course. So that document should be in final form before you tonight. You can go ahead, if the council is so inclined, to approve it. It'll then be published. It will go into effect upon publication here as soon as that can be done. So that should be done. That should be completed tonight. And that's all I have. I'm appearing by Zoom tonight because I have to be at another meeting at 6 p.m. I had a scheduling conflict for tonight. So I'll stay on for a little bit longer, but then I have to drive over to another meeting. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Reports from elected officials, Councilor Kramer,
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Councilor Graham,
Nothing to report.
Councilor Border,
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Councilor Scott.
Nothing to report.
Not hearing anything either. Old business, this is the ordinance that Mitch was just referring to. Ordinance number 242 prohibiting the use of cannabis in public places.
It's been posted on the board as required, and so if the council passes it tonight, it will then be published in our legal newspaper and become law.
Great, is there a motion to approve ordinance number 242?
I guess since it's a law that'll have to be enforced, I just want to get Tim's thought on the ordinance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the direction that each city is choosing to go. I think that we should mimic, and take a look at where we allow alcohol consumption, that cannabis could potentially be allowed to do. I think if we polled everybody, we might have a little bit different views, so I try to keep them in mind as we go through this after 34 years of working will not be okay for it to be okay, it's a little bit of a challenge. I do know that at Fisherman's Point, where the resident site, I see that to be a challenge to enforce the law. But if that's the city owned property, if that's what you choose to do, we'll support it. Yeah, so we got a little bit of taste of it during the water carnival. People were, I thought, respectful in, not publicly consuming, kids around and different things like that. As we walked around, we certainly could tell that there was some usage going on, but no negative confrontational encounters were had during the water carnival. And we were still a little bit of ways away from legalization at that point, so I realized that. But
And I assume just like with alcohol, just even though it's allowed in these areas, if someone's being unruly or out of hand, it's gonna be addressed.
Yeah.
If someone has a complaint or calls the police about it, you're gonna address it just like you normally would.
yeah, I think it's a good ordinance to establish and then maybe revisit it after we get through one calendar season or year of it and see. I think you'll see the law change a lot, and I'm hoping that the state makes a lot of these decisions for the council to do what's best for the state. But we can be as more restrictive as we like, as you guys as council would like. But it is a theme also across the year.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Graham, is there support?
I'll support it.
Supported by Councilor Kramer. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Ranger ATV snowmobile club invoice in the amount of $3,270 for the Moose Trail, the Guadalupe Skyboat project. Again, this is a pass through with the fiscal agent for the club. So this is not money coming from the city, it's passing through. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Counselor Scott, is there support?
Support.
Supported by Counselor Graham. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Eleven two is the application to conduct outside gambling by the White Lakes Chamber of Commerce on 11/11/2023 at the White Lakes Arena. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Beauregard, is there support?
I'll support.
Supported by Councilor Kramer. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Seven three, call for applications for position on the planning. Or position on, the planning commission, we recently lost Richard Wallace, he was the chair of the planning commission. Passed away on September 26, 2023, so we have a vacancy. We need a motion to call for applications for the planning position.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Council Beauregard, there's support. All support that. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Going forward, citizen request regarding water bill.
Yes.
Sam,
Sure, it's in your packet, but charges are for other cities. I don't know why White Lakes is so out of line with every other city. So I'd like some answers on that.
Well, we have a meeting coming up on the 16th to set the prices for the 2024 booklet. So it's certainly something I'd be willing to talk about and take into consideration. We do have to look at, what other cities charge based on, do they have the city that sets the garbage vendor? Are they free to choose their own garbage vendor? Are they, in a deficit with their enterprise fund like we are, or are they in a surplus with their enterprise fund? So there's other things that go into planning the booklet and all the fees besides just what other cities are doing, because every city is different. But yeah, I can see that ours is higher than the rest, and it's something well, it's $40 higher than. So I know that is something I'd be willing to, talk about when we have that meeting on the 16th.
Well, it's a figuring, and if you're not in your home for 6 months, you're only paying $60 more for that 6 months if you live in your house, as opposed to being gone. That's a big difference.
I don't know if anyone else has discussion on, this has been the price, I believe, for the term that I've been on here, but certainly bring it up.
Couple of factors I deal with as a water operator is one, the water source I have to treat to try and make into drinkable water. Water I've only known in Holy Lake is like black tea. That chemical has gone up by almost a third since I started here. I started back in 2017. The cost of conducting maintenance on the older equipment I have. And then we also have the wastewater plant, which the state and the EPA or the feds came in and said we need upper water rates to qualify for funding to get this work done at the wastewater plant.
The rates that I'm worried about are the water rates, it's the turning off and on.
Just the turning.
Yes, it's $140 to turn it off and $140 to turn it on. Wabic and Mount Iron both charge $25.
Yeah, it went up for the winter. There's one, you do a water shut off in the winter, if you can get to the valve, no problems. Great, but you're still dealing with possible water and frozen dirt inside that valve. So now you're messing around with that, so you're taking a lot more time out of my day as far as my operators go. So we got to either steam it to try and get it to move, or see if it'll turn it off. So if it's frozen, we steam it. And then when we do move it in the winter like that, the ground's frozen, all it is a cotter pin holding that on the valve down below. Put too much pressure on that cotter pin snaps. Now we're looking at a dig. If that valve got cocked a little bit, that's gonna be seeping water back up that pipe and be leaking out. That gets expensive for us.
And I do believe when the council implemented the summer versus the winter costs, it was talked about at that time to charge people what it costs us. So if it costs jigs operators 15 minutes of time, then that's what they charge. But if it costs us $4,000 to dig, we would charge them a little more than $4,000. So instead of doing that, the council tried to level it out and make it so everyone pays the same.
Okay. I would like to say, to you, Miss Lanny, the comment that I heard that you told the mayor that if you give me the facts, I will shut up was unprofessional and rude.
That I received, I never heard that,
Well, I don't think the person that told me that was lying, so I'm just saying. That's
but
not,
you're gonna call me a liar.
I'm not calling anybody a liar.
You just said that, I said, she never said anything like that to me. But you're saying that the person told you is not a liar, but you're
I'm
gonna
not
call
gonna
me.
be quotation, well, that's what I
I'm
heard.
just saying, that's
Yeah,
the way I feel.
yeah,
I mean, you
I'm
feel
not an
like,
elected official either,
no, you were certainly not,
no,
so.
so I just felt I needed to comment on that.
Okay.
So next on the agenda,
Becky, do you know what the cost of for water shut disconnect is similar?
Wallets disconnect is $87.50 and their reconnect is $87.50. Their snowbirds are $25 for each. So if it's a delinquent, it's $87.50 for each, and their snowbird is $25.
Okay.
So they're always different from the water.
Did water change a lot of their infrastructure related issues?
Yes, they also hire a third-party company to do their largest water operations.
They don't have a good valve breaking, but they're shipping
Yes,
these valves.
Correct.
Yes,
Can I ask a question?
certainly.
I don't know if you all know me, but I'm Paul Foreman and I've been here a long, long time. And $140 is pretty much. I think originally, when I was here and having it done for 28 years, it was $50 on, $50 off. When I came back 2 years ago, I was informed it was $140. And I came back on April 27th. If I had waited till May 1, it would have been $50 again. Nobody ever notified me that it was gonna go to 140. I don't think that was right. I did complain to the mayor at that time, Mr. Breland. And, but I think 140 is a little steep, guys, come on. The measurements are all at the city garage or at the water plant. It's measured from the corner of the house. It tells you right where the valve is. I agree with them a little bit about turning them off and on. I know there's a slight problem with that. But you know, the guy's got to know which way to turn the valve, and we have some problems with that.
It's not that simple though, when you get out there, sorry to interrupt. Sometimes it's also.
I mean, I know you could try, you couldn't trust the people to shut it off in their basement because you'll get burned on that, they'll turn it back on. But
Well, it's something we can certainly look at.
certainly, take a look at it anyway, I just think 140 is pretty doggone steep. You know,
We haven't set our rates for the next year, so. it's
Yeah.
something we'll
well,
look
take
at.
it into, I could consider, you know, if you consider that anyway. And I want to make one other comment, you know, want to thank the Public Works Department personally for taking care of all that storm damage. They did one hell of a job. And you guys don't realize how much work is involved in that, but there was a hell of a lot. So I like to thank them, because they already his crew, they did a hell of a good job.
All the guys over there were involved.
Yeah, thank you.
They were all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Timmy and all of them, yeah, all you guys.
Fire department, law enforcement,
Yeah.
public works, and public utilities were all involved that night.
Thank you, Glenn.
Hell of a storm for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you for letting me give you a little spiel there, so
Okay,
I appreciate it.
moving on. Okay, the citizen request regarding Blake.
That I already emailed, I got a excellent answer from Mr. Goranowski, so
Okay,
I'm satisfied with that.
and the next item up that you requested was regarding animal control.
Yes,
The city currently has 90 licenses issued.
does that include cats and dogs?
Yes.
Is there breaking down how many?
No. Let's see. We have 39 licenses expired on 12/31. 123. And there's 51 lifetime licenses that have been done by the city. The city has received $1,315 in license fees to date. Animal control has issued 2 administrative tickets to date.
Right, what were those for?
I am not sure.
I haven't received that information. Administrative tickets work, and you get issued the ticket, and you're responsible for bringing it down to city hall to pay it. If we don't see the ticket, we don't.
Okay, I don't know what the city ordinance is, if you get fined for not having your dog licensed or your cat, whatever.
I believe so. So if there's a dog running loose and somebody calls the animal control officer, he picks up the dog, brings it to the pound,
Okay,
and it's not licensed. I believe that.
and is there a boarding fee?
Yes, there is a boarding fee.
That's good, I was wondering.
I
I
think,
couldn't find the ordinance anywhere on the city page. What the fines were and all that.
some of the things that I'm seeing is people are reporting dogs loose on Facebook
Right,
rather than calling our animal
Exactly.
control officer. We just had a board meeting. The police department is, Tim, you can explain that. one.
Yeah, so, you know, obviously our animal control stipend doesn't support a 40-hour work week. So I think we're very fortunate to have Jed in that position for as long as we have. The city went to administrative citations, but we can write criminal. So right now, we had a pretty severe dog attack in White Lakes, or a week and a half ago on another dog. That's not something we'd expect Jed to investigate with his position. We have an officer assigned to it, and there'll be criminal tickets for that. So we do act as a conduit with the PD. You can call there, you can let Tiffany know what the problem is if you have a dog. We realize Jed works 40 hours a week. We will come in, grab the dog, bring it to the pound, feed and water it, let Jed or Mel know, always taken care of. We want that to continue. Yeah, Tiffany's at the desk from 8 to 4:30, and if there's a dog call, we know that it's unrealistic for Jed to leave work. You know, we kind of work in together on this, and same thing with the Morris. I mean, that's the expectation, but, yeah, I think it's a good setup. I've worked with many animal control officers for the city of White Lakes, and Jed is by far the most outgoing we've had. I like the fact that he truly cares about the animals and relocates. And it's simple, if you're gonna be paranoid, be responsible, and I've got dogs, and I understand they get away. And Diane, there is a lot, if we recognize a dog or we bring it home the owner without a ticket, absolutely.
Right.
It
It just seems like it's the same dogs.
You know.
And cats.
Yeah, and cats, for sure, I mean, my guys told me the town comes alive and like.
Well, I had Jared come in to put a live trap in my yard, but it broke the record, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't take long, so, yeah, I think the format, the administrative ticket is just allowable after multiple or maybe a couple of warnings is a good thing. If it becomes a severe case where we need to step in, we certainly would and bring it to the criminal court, which Becky would have recommended. We have to report every dog bite to St. Louis County Public Health Nurse, and they track them. We don't have substantial amount, thank God, but we have a lot of loose dogs.
Yeah, and can you write a citation for dog at large?
And that's also covered in the administrative.
Okay.
But again, if we know the dog, we always write this criminal citation, no, I don't know that that would constitute a criminal citation if the dog accidentally got along or child let it on. We can
Right.
safely.
I understand that, but
But
it's
you have those
always
types
the
of
same.
aggressive dogs and dogs that destroy other things or other animals for sure.
Right,
We need to have a safe community too, along,
right,
responsible pet owners.
appreciate that.
Just for information too, we put out a book every year, and the back is the fee schedule. On page 26, it goes through all the licensing and reporting fee for the animal control.
So it's on our website on the left hand side.
Yes.
Any question on that?
Yeah, that's,
The next one up was your request to be on the agenda regarding the agenda order.
right. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Robert's Rules of Order. Anybody? Okay. It doesn't say anything in there about what order the city meetings have to be, unless you have a bylaw with that. But when we come in here and to respond, we don't know what we're gonna respond to because, you know, it's before. So you're not understanding me, are you?
Well, yeah,
Well, public comments, if you want to comment on anything, we don't know what you're gonna discuss here.
But is the new business on our agenda, that's not open for public comment, right? I mean, that's city business that we're conducting, but it's not open for everyone to comment and give their opinions on, that's just the city business that we're conducting that next. So even if you were after that section, you
So we
really,
would be able to comment on the cannabis law.
at a previous meeting, we talked about it at the last 2 or 3, I think, but
Right,
so
so
that.
you would have to make public forum to discuss that afterwards.
At the next meeting, you could be on the agenda to talk about that.
Doesn't that seem backwards to you?
Well, not when we've had it on for 2 or 3 meetings, so we haven't, this is the first time we passed it, so there
Right.
was 2 or 3 meetings, people could give their opinion.
But how do we know that's what it says? The minutes on the meeting are like minimal at least.
Well, if you see an agenda from 3 meetings ago and it talks about cannabis, you can call City Hall and say at the next meeting, I'd like to talk about this cannabis ordinance that you have. And request information on it, and then we could put it on to have you talk about it the next time.
Did they put the agenda or meetings in the paper like they asked before?
We don't have, we can't put them in the shopper because their deadline is Wednesday at noon. And we don't have people have till Wednesday at 4 p.m. to
Right.
put items on the agenda. So we can't, that's not an option to put it in the
Okay,
shopper because it would be,
they don't make an exception of their Eastern Shopper for that. Okay,
just to give you an idea, Aurora has their public, for their regular business, Boavic. Same thing, Gilbert. The same thing as ours, Virginia. Same thing as ours. Evelyn, they do not allow for public comment period at all during their meetings. Mountain Iron. I don't see, same as ours, you know, public forum right after the consent agenda. Well, about every community other than Evelyn, theirs is at the same time as ours, beginning the meeting.
yeah, it just seems backwards to me.
But most of the stuff that we discuss has already been put out there. Information wise. Previous to the meetings. So,
Becky, the people that sign up for to get these agendas, do they get the whole agenda that we get, or is it
They get the agenda itself.
agenda?
The meeting packet is available for people to view in this room, starting from the date and time you receive it. But there does have to be someone here with them when they view it. That's public data laws.
Okay. I was looking for when I came in, but there was nothing there. I thought I could see it.
Oh, the book is right there. Here's your file.
Okay. That's fine. See that. All right. I think that's all I had.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Resolution 2023-029. Affects the delinquent service charge to property owners. This was our special meeting prior to the regular city council meeting. This is for assessing delinquent accounts. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2023-029?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Graham, is there support?
I'll support it.
Supported by Councilor Kramer, is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 11.9, pay request number 37 from Gritter Construction Incorporated in the amount of $41,978 for the wastewater treatment facility. Jake, you want to comment on that at all?
No. We're at the end of construction, just waiting for the final foot of blacktop and then the storm repairs and then a couple other small things to take care of. Last construction meeting, it sounds like Steve hasn't got the final punch list yet, so we'll be going through that too, but yeah, this all looks good.
Okay. Is there a motion to pay the $41,978?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Kramer, support. I'll support them. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Oh,
All right. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Kramer, is there support?
I'll support it.
Supported by Councilor Graham. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everybody.